This is He Knows the Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. All right, y'all. When did Oleksandr Usyk and Derek Chisora ever become such a fight of epic proportions and epic magnitudes? Why is the boxing community doing this stuff? This is the stuff that I'm talking about. The Rudy Poo and the Plum Plum Brain. The classic Dodo and the Troglodyte. The ultra fanboy with the ultra fanboy rhetoric. Why are you sitting here and pushing Oleksandr Usyk and Derek Chisora? Who the hell is Oleksandr Usyk? Who the hell is Derek Chisora? And why do they have any relevancy in anything that has to do with the sport of boxing? See, this is the stuff that I'm talking about. Because when Dillian White fought Derek Chisora, the publicity was not the same. Let me say it again. When Dillian White fought Derek Chisora, the publicity was not the same. So why now all of a sudden, because of who it is, and because of the fact that he's the one that's pushing himself and ingratiating himself out there, that the fight means what it's supposed to mean? That makes no sense. And you guys have to start using your boxing brains here. Start using what we call the true boxing eye test and be deep thinkers out here in these boxing streets. It's because Oleksandr Usyk is the great white hope and they want to get behind him. This guy hasn't done anything relevant at the heavyweight division for him to have a fight that fight fans just all of a sudden want to get behind. Oleksandr Usyk needs to prove himself. You have the Daniel Dubois and the Ife Ajagbas of the world that have been proving themselves on higher levels, on higher variations, and on higher facets. Let me say it again. You have the Daniel Dubois and the Ife Ajagba or the Ife Ajagbas that have been proving themselves on a higher level, a higher variation, and on a higher standard. But they're not getting talked about the way the likes of Oleksandr Usyk is getting talked about. Something is fundamentally wrong with that. Who has Oleksandr Usyk fought at the heavyweight division for us to be sitting here talking about his name? No one. But it's because of the fact that his name is Oleksandr Usyk. Let me say it again. His name is Oleksandr Usyk. And that's why the fight fans have gotten behind him. Until this guy fights somebody of credibility, and until he beats a name, Derek Chisora does not cut the mustard. This is a guy that's over the hill. We saw what we needed to see in the Dillian White fight. He gasses out. I mean, what is there that is left to be admired in a Oleksandr Usyk versus a Derek Chisora fight? You guys need to tell me this, because I don't get the message. I don't understand it, and I can't tell it. So if I can't see it, I can't tell it, and I don't understand it, then why is it relevant on any form, any variation, in any facet? So in cold-hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat truth-telling fashion, what are we talking about here when we talk about the Oleksandr Usyk and the Derek Chisora fight? We're talking about a fight that really doesn't mean too much of nothing. And if fight fans could get behind that and be honest with themselves and say, okay, we're just watching a fight for the sake of the fact that we just need to watch a fight, instead of saying, okay, this is a quality fight, then I could sit there and salute to the fight fans that's out there saying that. But that's not what's happening. They're propping this thing up as if it's the biggest thing since sliced bread. How come He Knows the Sport is the only one that sees this? And He Knows the Sport at the same time in three-dimensional thinking fashion is like, something's fundamentally wrong with this. You guys need to wake up, man, and see the double standards that's associated with boxing. Because like I said, when Dillian White fought Derek Chisora, there was no hoopla about that fight. No one cared too much about that fight. But all of a sudden, because it's Oleksandr Usyk, there's a care for it. The same Derek Chisora that got knocked out by Dillian White, he's done. This is a heavyweight that's just pretty much there to be an entry-level gatekeeper for any heavyweight that's just trying to get into the damn division. Let me say it again. Derek Chisora is an entry-level gatekeeper for any heavyweight, i.e. Oleksandr Usyk, that's trying to get into the heavyweight division and have a name on their resume. That's it. It's nothing significant. This is not a big fight. This is just a fight for fight fans to just watch because it's just a fight. And if people are being real with themselves and using the true boxing eye test to tell this for what it is, then we have a conversation. Because I don't want to hear this nonsense about, oh, he beat Derek Chisora, so Oleksandr Usyk is legit. Because if we start hearing this Rudy Poo and Plum Plum Brain, ultra fanboy with the ultra fanboy rhetoric, and classic dope and troglodytisms, then we know something's fundamentally wrong with the sport. This is Hinos the Sport, checking out.